Hey troopers, welcome back to the 501st Com Chatter with myself, Will.
And Chloe.
How are we doing, guys? Hope you're having a wonderful week. If you're watching this, you can see that we are joined by our special guest this week. Special guest, please reveal yourself.
Hello there, I am Simply Skywalking on TikTok and Instagram, and I am mainly known for cosplaying Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure to finally get you on. I know that I've seen you around on my sort of TikToks and socials for quite a while with your Anakin cosplay. So I can't wait to sort of get into that with you and find out more about your journey into becoming the chosen one, shall we say?
Thank you.
So basically this week, guys, we're going to start off with our little bit of news, shall we say, product reviews. On a personal note, is it 3 days?
Sunday.
3 days. So Sunday we are finally going to be ordering the UCS Venta. I cannot wait. Are you going to be getting this one, Simply?
I really wish I could, but my money's been sent elsewhere currently.
Yep.
Totally understand that. I mean, I've also been quite lucky that it's coming around my birthday, so being able to sort of have a word with like parents and be like, I just want money for this set, for my birthday. Don't worry about anything else. So yeah, I'm very excited for that. But yeah, so we have had some product news over the week. The first one I personally am very excited for. I hope you are as well. I mean, let's get it up for you guys to see.
Oh.
Black Series Captain Rex helmet. Oh my god.
Wow. I mean, as soon
it's
as we saw
beautiful.
this, both of us were just like, what? I mean, because he already has
I have
Will.
I have the phase 2, but I mean, this is the one that I want. I'll be honest, when I first saw a video on TikTok about it, I thought it was fake. I was like, don't do this to me. This is fake. This isn't real. Don't tease me like this.
Mhm.
So I had to look it up, and obviously it's real, and it looks even more beautiful in person. Look at that boy. There we get with the little rangefinder down. Here we get the box.
It looks so good.
Simply, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it looks really good. I'm excited for it. I was just checking out my Black Series Captain Rex over there because I was like, does his helmet actually have the little ridge at the top like the other phase 2s?
Okay.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Okay, because I thought.
Yeah, I was just having a little look here for like my Lego helmet and like my little figure. And yeah, I'd say it's got a little bit. I don't think it's as prominent.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a little bit smaller than what it's showing in the Black Series, but at the end of the day, it's the Black Series Rex, and
Yeah.
I have to wait till March to get this.
I mean, I'll be very patient for it.
I'm very lucky in the fact that there's a big time difference between the UCS Venta coming out and the Rex helmet coming out, because there's no way I could get both of these at the same time. But
Oh yeah.
but it just looks so good, and I'm so glad we're finally getting phase 2 Rex Black Series helmet. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised there's not one already, because I mean, in terms of clone troopers, like the most well-known one, I'd say, is Captain Rex.
Yeah.
Anakin's right-hand man.
Another thing that I noticed on this helmet, which we sort of get a real good look at, you get to see more of the weld on his helmet.
Yeah.
Because in lots of the animation and that, we sort of just see the marks on the front. But with this helmet, you can really see the welding on like the sort of side of it.
Yeah.
And I think it looks great. And it's
I like to think
battered, it's got some of the like scorch marks on it. Like,
yeah.
He ain't no shiny.
that is true. He is not a shiny with that one. But yeah, I think this is probably, after the Venta, I think this is my most anticipated release. Simply, are you into the sort of vintage collection figures or Black Series figures?
Yes, I am. I am very much into them. I've got all of them are currently packed away because there's been some moving about right now. So I've got some new setups and that. But I've still got some of my figures out, and mainly my Clone Wars and stuff, and some of the Inquisitors and Vader. I've got that. I've not got many of the Black Series helmets outside of Vader, but that's over at my partner's place.
Well, we have some figures released as well to show off, which some of them I'm quite excited for. So we start off with the Vintage Collection series, and we have one of my favorite characters, Jedi Revan, with HK-47, looking very good. As a Revan fan, I like this figure.
I didn't even know.
And the fact that they as well released a Darth Revan coming out soon, isn't it? So I think they released it in the like a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're getting both Revans, I love HK-47's a nice addition as well. We have a Hugh Yang, quite nice. I think the colours are a little bit off on him though.
Yeah, he looks a bit like what they call battle droid kind of colour.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Roger droid. But yeah, I feel like in the series he is a bit more kind of like metal looking, similar to like Mando.
But I like
cool
that.
Figure.
Yeah. Chopper.
Chopper.
No need. I'm glad we're getting another one. I love Chopper.
Can I just say, I feel like Chopper has the biggest kill count in all of Star Wars.
He has to. I mean, come on. This guy has literally.
He's more brutal than Darth Vader.
Now that would be quite a fun video, the kill cam video between Vader and. I mean, Luke's got to be pretty high up there as well. A director Krennic. Now, I'll be honest, the face actually looks really good. What do you think, Simply?
I like the look of that. I had no idea on Revan there and Krennic, so I'm quite excited for them. Krennic, especially because I've got the Rogue One Vader figure, so just having those two together will be quite nice.
That'd be a good one to have. I mean, I really like this Krennic figure actually. There's not many Imperials that I really like, but I'd probably say Krennic and Rogue One is up there for me in terms of the Imperials that I like. And so yeah, nice to see he's getting a figure.
If you do have a Darth Vader figure, it'd be really cool to have them displayed with like the Rogue One scene where it's like, like don't choke on your aspirations.
It's making me regret not picking up the. Do you remember a few years ago they released the Han Solo Carbonite set diorama?
Yeah.
There was some customizer who could turn that into like the walkway from Rogue One, and now I regret not picking that up.
Aww.
Speaking of that Han Solo Carbonite set, have you seen on well, I've been seeing it. We saw it a couple of times on TikTok. The Christmas decoration of the Han Solo turning into Carbonite.
Yes,
it's so cool. I want that.
So
I have never wanted to import something so much in my life. I don't care about the costs. I will if my wallet goes broke during it, it goes broke.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a price, but I'm like, I want that. I really want to get that.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks massive though for the tree. Like, I don't know where it's gonna go, but
I would love to have a Star Wars tree.
Oh
for
god,
Christmas.
Star Wars tree.
I see them all over TikTok every Christmas, and I'm just like,
I need that.
Make that.
So moving on to the Black Series figures, we have a Bo-Katan, another one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had a couple now. I think this is like the second, possibly. I'm not sure. I feel like we have.
I thought there was one in the I know they released the one based on Mando season 2. And
yes, it might be that.
Okay.
And then I think it got re-released in the credits line.
Oh yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if this is like the same mold with a new head, or if it's like a completely new tooling.
Mm-hmm. I feel like her hair looks quite short to be Mando season 3. So yeah, I think maybe.
Yeah, that's a good little detail, good spot.
Because her hair is like sort of grown a bit.
Yeah.
Mando season 3.
But still, another cool figure.
Cool.
Then we've got I think you like this one. I
Oh,
believe
I
this
like-
is New Hope Vader.
Oh, that'll
Okay.
be.
I believe so.
Yes, no, I think you're right because his cape bit goes over the shoulder piece, like the inner cape.
Yeah.
Cool. I might pick
So-
that up.
Very.
It does look cool, that one, I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Then we've got a Luke
Ooh.
pilot. Looks
His
quite
helmet
cool.
looks really cute.
To be honest, I really like his Red 5 helmet.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
even though I'm not a massive X-wing pilot like junkie, but that Red 5 helmet I would buy as like a Black Series one. I know you can get it, but I think it's quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
It just looks cool, I think.
I've
And it's
gained a bit of
iconic, isn't it?
I've gained a bit of a soft spot for the Rebel pilots from my time trooping in the Rebel Legion, so I might get one of those as a little nod to some of my friends who do the pilots.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the X-wing as itself. I mean, I would fly one of those if I could. Like, it's great, but yeah, no. I mean, I think this is quite cool. I would say this is probably Empire. Luke.
Yeah. He's got his lightsaber.
Yeah, he's got his lightsaber from his thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Stormtrooper to go with Vader. It's quite weird. He looks like he's doing the Force choke.
He does.
It does. Oh my god, it does. Maybe maybe he's related to that one clone from the comics who thought he could use the Force.
Yes. Or maybe he's just impersonating Vader to his mate and he's like, Vader was like this.
This is how he choked Jeff.
Who else do we have? Yes, we have a
Oh,
Sabine.
God.
Sorry,
Shin
Shin Hai. Sorry, I got Sabine on my mind.
Me
Shin Hati.
and my
Now-
friends have memed this figure so much.
I mean, it's quite a good figure. The lightsaber actually looks really good. I mean, it is a bit red,
I was just going to say that. I feel like the lightsaber isn't orange enough.
but I feel like that's quite hard to do for a figure, to get an
Yeah.
orange. But again, I know a lot of people are going to be wanting this one.
Mhm.
I'll probably get it. But like, I'm going to customize it. Like, I'm going to hit the saber some chrome orange spray paint.
Nice.
But we've
If
jokingly
you do, I hope to see that because that'll be a real cool little custom, and
Oh.
everyone will be like, "I want that on my Shin Hati figure."
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to get the next one because I'm a bit of a fan of this guy,
Yes.
Balin. Oh my god, what a character!
Man has been stealing the show the whole season, in my opinion.
Absolutely, no, you are spot on there, mate. I mean, he has been one of my favorite characters, if not favorite character in this Ahsoka show. Like, he is just so cool. Like, Ray Stevenson has just done such a fantastic job with it.
Yes.
Like, and the interesting thing is, his lightsaber looks more orange than Shin's, but
I'm thinking maybe in person these lightsabers will maybe look a bit different.
yeah.
Well,
that's
it could also potentially be like, just having a thought, it could also just be the product shots because maybe they've not finished making the molds for the new casting color for the new saber, and they just have the red ones on standby.
That's true.
yeah. I mean, this is a figure that these figures that we're showing, we might not get until sort of next year. Start of next year.
Yeah.
Because that's like the Captain Rex helmet. That's not coming out till next March. I think the Darth Revan and some of the other vintage ones that we've mentioned
Mhm.
are like coming out start of next year, January-ish. So, give it time, but it does. Again, this is one that I really want.
Yeah.
We got Sabine's lightsaber. Interestingly, that they're calling it Sabine's lightsaber and not Ezra's. I think that's a bit of a hint to the show and the way that this is basically becoming her lightsaber. This isn't Ezra's anymore.
Yeah.
I think this is also kind of like how they call it Rey's lightsaber when it's really Anakin's.
Yeah,
We all know it's Anakin's lightsaber.
100%. It's not Rey's. It's. I mean, she gets her own at the end of the
Yeah.
of this film.
That's
so,
her lightsaber. This is Anakin's.
yeah, I mean, it looks okay. I mean, it's not one that's like really standing out to me. That it's like, I really want to get this one. This to me is like, if it's okay if you're a collector of the lightsabers, go ahead. This is right up your street. But for me, who's sort of a quite picky collector, should we say, this one is probably going to be a miss for me.
I mean, you're spending a lot of money on it. You want to get just like your favorite kind of items.
Vader's.
Can I just say this? Like the top of this lightsaber looks like Cal Kestis' lightsaber.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's an okay saber. I'm curious to know if they are going to do what some of the saber companies like Padawan and Vader's Vault do with this saber, and that's release like an Ezra style display neck piece for it that you can use when not wanting to have the saber ignited. So I'll be curious to see if it has will replicate that, because I've seen they're trying to kind of go toe to toe now with the saber companies, trying to get the sabers out at the same pace.
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely right. There, you know, when you look at some of the lightsaber companies out there, you know, there are some really good ones out there. There's, you know, you've got people at like, I think it's like Saber Theory, Padawan
Outpost.
Yeah.
You know,
Twin
so
Suns.
to be honest, some of them are like really good. Yeah, like, but for me, it's an okay saber. I'm not going to be adding it to my collection, but yeah.
I think Sabine cosplayers definitely want it.
Oh yeah, 100%. They're going to get that. They're going to get it with Sabine's helmet as well.
Oh yeah.
So then, last product we have a Force Unleashed sort of set. Quite interesting that they've decided to make figures from this, but I like it. Quite cool.
I personally love the game, so I think this is really cool. And you get a chance at getting some stormtroopers and some lightning, some cool sabers, and obviously Gator Marek, which I don't think there's many figures of Starkiller. So
no, I reckon this might be one of the first. But yeah, no,
very cool.
A good little nod to the games, shall we say? Did you ever play the games?
My brother did. I used to watch him. I used to watch him play the games because I was mainly into like Japanese RPGs. It was only a few years later that I finally got into action games, and I still need to go back and play The Force Unleashed.
Yeah, for me, it's one of those games where it's just like it's mainly you do it for fun. You know, you get into experience using the Force a lot. You know, his combat's quite cool, and then obviously some of the DLCs as well from like I think it was the first one. That just different.
You know what I reckon they need to make now? Because they've made this, they need a Juno Eclipse and Proxy.
Yes,
I would love a Proxy figure so much.
So cool.
That would be quite a cool one, because I swear we haven't seen like any droid like him, you know, since this game. So, I believe that is all of the new release. I know there's quite a lot, but some interesting ones there, some good ones. Out of that lot, definitely getting the Rex helmet, definitely getting Balin's skull, and possibly gonna get the Vader, I reckon.
Yeah.
What about you, Simply? Any ones there that are really like you're definitely gonna get?
So Force Unleashed set, definitely, especially with those effect parts. I could have so much fun using them. Shin and Balin I'm getting, and maybe getting the Rex helmet. It would depend.
Yeah, I need that Rex helmet. Like, I have quite a growing Rex collection here. Like, I have the Funko, I have the Lego head, I have like the 3.75 inch figure?
Yeah.
So the vintage collection Rex. I'm getting the little Lego mini fig Rex and the Venator. I need the helmet. I need it. I should just have a shrine to Rex in my room.
You know what? Good show. I've basically got that for Anakin.
I don't blame you, mate. There's not many other people that you'd want a shrine like that to.
Yeah.
So moving on to Ahsoka episode 7. How have you found the series so far?
For me, I found the series really enjoyable. I have enjoyed every moment of it. It's made me It's made me well up at a few occasions, and it's had me literally gasping and messaging some of my friends who are watching it at like 2 o'clock in the morning as well.
I totally understand that. I mean, for me, I would probably say this has probably been my favorite live action series in Star Wars. I mean, I know it's quite a big statement, but for me, there's just been like so many factors that have just made me like either be like so excited as if I'm watching it as like a kid, you know, like the whole Clone Wars bit, seeing Anakin in Clone Wars in live action, seeing Rex in live action, like I genuinely almost like I was like tearing up when I saw him. You know, then we've had like the return of Thrawn with you know, that incredible monologue opening line that gave me chills last week. And every time I see something, I'm just like, oh my god, this is incredible and incredible, and I just cannot wait to watch more of it. I love it. I'm so hooked.
Yeah, I'm glad there's only one episode left, but like I'm going to be eating that. I'm going to probably rewatch the series again afterwards in one go.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like you don't know what's coming, but you've also got a little idea on what's coming. You know, I'm assuming Thrawn is going to be coming back into the universe.
Yeah,
you know, everyone's going to be like, "Oh bugger,
yeah,
this guy's back."
I think it's going to end on Thrawn getting away while Ezra, Sabine, and Ahsoka are left on the planet.
Ooh.
That way they're not around till like Filoni needs them in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, at this minute, we don't know how they're going to get back. I mean, Sabine, Ezra, and Ahsoka, but it's very interesting to see the way that this is going. And I like as well, at the start of this episode, we sort of went back to the normal sort of Star Wars galaxy and got to see, you know, what's going on with Hera and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of that, we have some little pictures here that we have found from the episode. So we have the return of C-3PO. I love seeing this.
I was waiting for an eventual R2 or C-3PO cameo in this show. I was like, it was either going to happen in the flashbacks or Anthony Daniels is going to walk in somewhere.
I mean, if I was doing an Ahsoka bingo card, like I wouldn't have had him. I wouldn't have had 3PO coming back into it. I'd have just been like, someone's going to come in it from like the original trilogy, but this was nice to see, and I think it worked really well for the scene.
It did. It really did, and just the mention of Leia was like a nice wee heartfelt moment.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously we, sadly we can't have Leia appear, so I think having 3PO representing her, is just as good as you can get, really.
But also, as soon as you seen him, you were like, "Oh, that's why he's in the the intro part where it shows all the helmets." And there was a protocol droid. And obviously, at the time, we didn't think anything of it, but it must have been C-3PO.
It all makes sense now. It all makes sense. Yeah. What's your take on Elizabeth's portrayal as Hera in this series? Because I've seen a lot of people compliment her and some people criticize her. So what's your opinion on it?
I've really been enjoying her acting. I think she's been great at representing the character. She's been getting down like some of Hera's motherly aspects and just overall captures the Rebels character perfectly. Like, to me, it's a seamless transition from animation to live action.
Yeah. I think she's got that sort of rebel, like you said, sort of rebel personality, like we see in episode 2 in the at the scrapyard when she like says to the guy in charge, and she's like, "Want to bet?" Like,
yeah,
I can authorize this if I want,
Yeah,
and I think she's doing a great job.
She is. The moment that sold it for me was definitely her banter back and forth with Chopper when they were chasing after the ship. Like I was thinking, yep, that's Hera.
That was again Hera Hera being Hera, and I think Chopper in this show has also been like great. He's everything you expect him to be.
He is, and I love that little war criminal so much.
Yeah. I think we all do, right? Now this one we saw recently on like a video breakdown of the episode. Now I didn't pay any attention to when I watched the episode until obviously I saw this video, and there's another cameo in this scene that I wasn't aware of. Admiral Akbar was there.
Oh, I didn't know that was Akbar. I thought that was his son.
I was like, I thought it was just a Mon Calamari, but someone pointed out it's the same sort of patterns, like on his head as Akbar, and like the sort of rank on his on his uniform. It's Akbar.
That is
no,
really,
obviously he doesn't have a speaking role, but it was just again, it's like a little nod to him being around and being a part of this journey.
Yeah, that's actually really good. It actually does make sense in the world to have Akbar as part of that council.
Well, considering we've seen Home 1 multiple times in the show so far, which was Akbar's ship. So clearly he is some sort of representation of working with Hera. So that was nice to see it. I like that.
Yeah.
That is very nice.
And then obviously this one I think you're going to quite like.
Yeah.
Seeing this again just makes you smile, doesn't it?
It does. I am shameless to say that after I woke up the next morning, I shamelessly scrolled Twitter to get more photos and screenshots of that hologram Anakin to use as references.
I mean, yeah. Can I just say, how good does Hayden look? Like,
so good.
The man is he's been absolutely killing it since his return in Kenobi, and I am so happy with like all the love and appreciation he's getting.
Yeah, I mean, I love seeing again, like you mentioned, Kenobi, his return in that when he turns around and he's like Attack of the Clones sort of era Anakin.
Yeah,
just again made me smile so much, and then he's just knocked it out of the park with his return in Ahsoka, and I love him. I'm so like I want more.
I want more, and I know I shouldn't.
I need just they've made that costume, and now I'm just like, for the love of God, get Ewan McGregor in the Clone Wars Kenobi one and get those two on screen together.
That would be it. If you could get Obi-Wan in his Clone Wars, that would be awesome. I mean, they had to do it at some point, didn't they? And the fact that they have done it and they've pulled it off this good, like,
yeah, it's surreal. Again, it's surreal to see it happen. Like seeing that design in live action finally.
Because I think we mentioned it like on the episode when we had the Clone Wars flashbacks like 2 episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned that there was all these fan posters of what Hayden looked like in the Clone Wars armor.
I've actually got it right here as well. I've got the vintage series packaging still fresh when they re-released Clone Wars Anakin with the Hayden Photoshop on it.
Oh really? Oh, this is quite cool. We got to see this.
Yeah.
Let's get that on the big screen.
So yeah, we have like.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, and I can see they actually adapted quite a bit on it. Like the only thing they've given him, they've kept the Revenge of the Sith hair, but he still has like even the belt details from Ahsoka. So I think they probably took a lot of inspiration from that Photoshop.
I mean, in fairness, it's quite a good Photoshop, isn't
That's
it?
really good. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad I kept this figure mint in packaging now for this for a moment like this.
It probably just skyrocketed in value there.
Even if you don't end up going on to like sell it and keep it as more as like a personal thing.
Yeah,
It's
I
still just awesome, isn't it?
probably will keep it that in the Hot Toys version, which is sitting behind me.
Yeah, there's something about when you collect something and it means like so much to you.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter how bad you're gonna get, you're not gonna sell it. Like,
yeah,
but yeah, it was nice to see, you know, one of Anakin's sort of training videos with Ahsoka. And it was quite nice to see her sort of differentiation in form that we see her training with.
yeah. That was cool to see. I really did enjoy that scene though. Watching it the whole time and seeing Ahsoka train and have those things, I'm just like, when are they going to actually give us as well a recreation of the training video Ezra watched, just so we can see Hayden in that random outfit from Rebels?
Yeah, we've never seen him in that ever since, and he did look a little bit goofy, but that's because of the animation style. But
Yeah,
I also think it's a really big deal that we finally get a live action name drop of Asajj Ventress.
yeah.
Like a lot of people would just sort of dismiss that, but the fact that we actually get like the mention of it, you know, obviously we know that she's canon, but for me it's just like another little nod to the Clone Wars and to our sort of childhood.
Yeah, it honestly made me. It honestly made me more. That was one of the moments that got me most excited. Was just that casual name drop of Asajj, and I was like, "Please tell me she's round the corner now."
I mean, you know, it's possible. You know, we've
Yeah.
got Night Sisters resurrecting people.
I so if we get a zombie Asajj Ventress running around soon, I'll love that. But I'll also probably be hiding behind the sofa and watching Disney shows then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd like to see a live action Asajj Ventress, but I don't think we will. It's just one of those characters that I feel like just they're not going to bring back for the sake of it, you know. But
Yeah,
I hope.
I hope as well. I think she was very cool.
Yeah.
The fact that she had like two sabers and they were curved, kind of like Dooku's. I think it was all cool.
Yeah. And
also, I thought I'd just add because, like, obviously in the scene where Ahsoka is almost being trained by this hologram of Anakin, like after her venture into the world between worlds, like before that, she was almost like blocking out her past because she's just like, oh, he turned evil, he's Darth Vader, you know, kind of trying to be her own person. But now that she's experienced that whole scene in the world between worlds, she's gone back to her past and that, and now she's not afraid of him anymore. She's like, I can learn something from what he's left, you know.
yeah.
Well, that was really cool.
And going on to like what you said as well, that meant there's a bit when obviously sort of after she's talking to Hugh Yang, and she says he was a good master.
Yeah.
You know, and it's almost like she's come back to the whole, you know, Anakin. She's more thinking about what Anakin was and who he was before he turned, and you know, she didn't want to, you know, in Rebels she says she doesn't want to believe what he has done or who he is.
I think she probably feels partly responsible for his turn to the dark side. I know like Kenobi blames himself a lot, but I think, you know, possibly Ahsoka as well. Maybe she thinks that she could have stopped it from happening, but now she's kind of
especially if you bring in the whole vision she had at the Lothal Temple with Anakin's, with that Force vision berating her. Like, she clearly holds a lot of guilt towards what happened. So you're probably all right.
There was a funny meme actually that I did see earlier, and it was that scene of Ahsoka in the temple with the Force Anakin behind her, and it was like, why didn't you help me, Ahsoka? And then underneath she's like, well, I wasn't created until 2008. I was like, yeah, I like that. That's quite a little funny little nod.
That is a good one.
Going back to the show, obviously we get a little bit more of a sort of space battle as they, you know, come out of the whale's mouth. And the more I watch this show, the more that I just love Thrawn. Like that line deliverance when he's like, her master was General Anakin Skywalker.
That-
It's like that realization that he's like,
yeah.
this isn't just anyone.
Hmm.
I like to theorize Thrawn just had full-on flashbacks to the Thrawn Alliance novel, just remembering the bullshit he put up with Anakin and Anakin and Vader.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely knows Anakin was Vader. You know, we've had that in the novels where he puts it together. You know, he's a smart guy. He knows who he is. But I just love it. It's like you can even see on Lars's face a little bit of like, oh bugger. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like this isn't just a normal Jedi this is trained by like the most unexpected Jedi out there. You know?
Yeah.
I think like I was quite surprised that he didn't know that before, because he seems to like be a really smart person and do his research on everyone. Like he even knew who Balin Skull was and stuff, but now he didn't even know that Ahsoka was Anakin's Padawan. But you know, now he knows, and like you say, he's probably realized like, oh dear, this ain't no normal Jedi.
Yeah, and then obviously we see Ezra and Sabine with the little naughties, like in their little caravan.
They're so cute.
My partner's been going absolutely mad for like the little village thing, but more than that, she's been going mad for the little the wolf creatures.
Oh, the howlers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but she's affectionately called Sabine's Boof. She's just called it Boof.
I like that. That's cute. Speaking of howlers, I know this whole series has had lots of mythological, like status and stuff going on with like Shin and Balin with the wolves. You've got obviously the Night Sisters, the witches, and the three fates and that. But if you look at Shin's howler, it's actually like a white, or it's more of a light version, almost white. And it's like, well, this is just even more of a reference to the Shin and Balin as the wolves. Like,
yeah, it really is. I've been really enjoying a lot of people's theories and that on Balin and Shin and the wolves. I've just been loving seeing every video on it.
Yeah. Do you have any theories on what Balin is looking for?
So I feel Balin is maybe looking for Abeloth, or potentially his own way into the world between the worlds to gain information that he couldn't gain prior to, again, break the cycle.
I agree. I mean, I was one of those that at the sort of when the show started, I was very much he wants to get to the world between worlds and access maybe like the Mortis gods, or but after watching some of these videos on fan theories and the whole sort of backstory of Abeloth and the power and how dangerous she actually is, or is, like, I'm more swayed to the fact that he's called, like, he's going to Abeloth. And if we get live action Abeloth, I think I'm gonna like lose my mind. Like,
I think bringing Abeloth in is probably going to be the best choice, because that, in my head, I think bringing Abeloth in and having Luke and our Jedi deal with it, it would explain why Luke was maybe a bit more willing to try and unalive his nephew, because after facing something great and evil like Abeloth, sensing even the twinge of that potential darkness again, yeah, no wonder he'd get his saber out and try and attack.
yeah. I mean, also as well, if you've got not a series but a film from Dave Filoni, sort of wrapping up all the shows in terms of like Mandalorian, Ahsoka, stuff like that, you're gonna need a really big bad, because it's you're dealing with a movie, not a show. So Abeloth as a concept for like the big bad of his movie would be perfect.
It really would. It really, really would.
Yeah, and we get a nice interesting scene with Sabine trying to give Ezra back his lightsaber, and he's like, "Nope, I don't want it."
Yeah, that honestly made me laugh, and realizing when I saw the meme appear the next day or the night before, like the Rey handing Luke the saber scene parodied with Sabine and Ezra, it just made me burst out laughing.
I mean, I kind of hoped that they wouldn't go this direction. I hoped that they would, bring Ezra back to being like a Jedi. But the fact that he is so the Force, I don't need a lightsaber. I am, the Force is my weapon. I think is actually a really good thing, because everyone gets this idea to be a Jedi, or you need like a lightsaber, and but he showed with his fighting through the Force, the Force is the greatest weapon that he could use.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to know if Ezra's adapted old, like, do you remember the old book, Jedi textbooks? Like, you had the Book of the Sith, the Book of the Jedi,
Yeah.
Bounty Hunter Code. I'm curious if they're going to reference that maybe how Ezra survived this whole time is doing what ancient Jedi used to do, and rather than using lightsabers, they imbued weapons with the Force.
Maybe.
To fight off opponents and that.
I mean, I don't know if have you played Jedi Survivor?
I've played only a bit of it at a friend's house. I am woefully behind on consoles.
I'm not gonna go into it, but obviously there is like a High Republic influence on the story, and we do see through this story how powerful with the Force the High Republic Jedi were. So maybe we're getting an Ezra that goes back and goes more basic, in terms of what he's doing, because he doesn't have a lightsaber, he doesn't have a kyber crystal, he cannot make these things. So I liked it. I think it was quite a good episode. I have seen some people saying it's a bit slow, there isn't much going on, but I think there's enough in it to be an enjoyable episode.
Yeah, I thought it was I thought it was an enjoyable episode as well. I actually felt it was very well paced. Like, you had enough exposition, and then into the action, and then into the plot.
Yeah, and was again the sort of Baylan Ahsoka rematch. I really enjoyed because it showed the difference in Ahsoka, compared to what she was like in the first battle, where Baylan completely overpowered her.
Yeah, Baylan absolutely just decimated her that battle.
I thought, just while we're on the topic of Ahsoka, the bit where she's sort of going through the like trying to hide from Thrawn, and she's going through that graveyard of like the Purgle. It's very similar to when Han Solo was going through like the asteroid field, and then C-3PO was like, "Oh," he was like trying to tell him the odds, and he's like, "Never tell me the odds." And then obviously in this scene we have Hugh Yang saying like, "Oh, this is not a good idea." So I thought it was very similar to that, because obviously she's trying to like get to the planet and see Sabine and stuff. I think the scene where like she was trying to connect with Sabine through the Force was quite good as well.
Very reminiscent of Luke contacting Leia in Empire. At the end when he's hanging on for dear life.
And Vader like sort of sensing him when he goes, "Luke," and then he's like, "Father." Yeah, very like the originals, which I think is very cool.
So, how long do you reckon the next episode is going to be?
I think the next episode, I'm going to place it at maybe about 45 to 50 minutes. That's my rough ballpark.
I think that's the finale. You've got to give it that much time. I'm hoping, because one of the problems that I had with the Kenobi show is it was just so short, like the episodes. Like, I'd turn on it, be like, right, I'm ready. I've got an episode of Kenobi to watch, and it'd be like 20 odd minutes, and it's okay.
Yeah, Kenobi, definitely that series. was the series I felt the most where they just took a movie and chopped it up. Like
There's so much more that they could have added to it. And
yeah, there really was more they could have added to it, in my opinion.
And I mean, there was, obviously there was enough bits to keep fans engaged with the whole flashback. There was also, Sinube in the Fortress Inquisitorius,
Yeah.
But it was just like, come on, let's add some more. Let's get some more. Come on.
Yeah, I think they could have easily fit in an extra Reva flashback or an extra Obi-Wan flashback somewhere, or even just like an extra Bail Organa scene dealing with like the Imperial bureaucracy.
Yep, something completely different, and there was just some little moments in it where it was a little bit like sort of bugged me because it was like it wasn't like the actor's fault. It was just a little bit annoying, like the Leia run from the bad guys scene, like that. Just like I was watching that, like, okay, come on.
Yeah, they could have probably easily shaved off like 1 to 2 minutes of that scene, and it was still done. It would still had the same impact.
Absolutely, I mean, yeah. But at the end of the day, it was still Star Wars content, and for that, I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
So that's basically the Ahsoka episode, breakdown. We've covered most of it. I mean, what's your opinion on the Night Troopers?
The Night Troopers, I am really enjoying. I think that in my opinion, the best Stormtrooper design we've had since they introduced the Sith Troopers in the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, okay, yeah, no,
I'm loving Enoch, even though I posted a meme of him looking like the Ben 10 villain of the same name with the same golden mask. But I absolutely adore him, and I hope he survives a good few into season 2.
Oh, please. Like, I would love that because, again, like, I got almost like chills when they had that scene when he turned around and it was like, we are seeing a Stormtrooper helmet and mask that we have like never ever seen before. And I was like, it's almost creepy. Like, it's like, oh, okay, this is unsettling.
Yeah, it really was unsettling, but that's why I loved it, because it was just like the eyes pierced into your soul.
Yep.
You can almost like, you don't want to see what's under the mask, but like,
I seen a funny meme earlier. It was Enoch and his mask was kind of open and there was Babby Frick inside. That'd be funny.
That would be a bit of a plot twist, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Enoch is Babby Frick. Oh,
Not squeezy.
But yeah, so let's go on to the main point of today's episode, which is you, my friend. We've got you on, and we want to talk about you and talk to you about your cosplaying and everything about it. So I'm going to start off with one of the most probably asked questions. How did you get started?
So for me with cosplaying, it started in like somewhere between 2017 to 2018. I went through a particularly bad breakup with a previous partner, and my best friend was just like tired of me basically sulking, so she bought me the tickets to London and went, "You're going down, come have fun. You're getting put in a stupid costume." So he popped me into the 11th Doctor when he had the purple frock coat on, and that was the first costume I took to screen accuracy. Ended up loving cons, and it's basically snowballed from there, where I now do Anakin Skywalker.
So what made you choose Anakin? Why Anakin?
Anakin, so I like Anakin a lot. I've loved him since he appeared in the prequels. One of my early Star Wars memories was going downstairs and my dad had Revenge of the Sith on when it was airing on TV for the first time. And I just remember watching from the Obi-Wan versus Grievous into Mustafar, and realizing that, oh, this is what Vader looked like. I ended up loving the character, reading more into him, and when it came to choosing to do Anakin, it actually happened because of lockdown. I'd ordered the costume up as a silly thing for like a one-off time, but when lockdown happened and TikTok became a thing, I started posting videos on that, and I just grew to love the character, realizing he's a bit of an idiot. And I just started getting new pieces and just kept adding and adding and adding till, well, it became that.
Oh.
I mean, it is like, in terms of Anakins that I've seen as people cosplay, like, I've got to be honest, you're like the top that I've seen.
I do appreciate that a lot, but I'm not like I'm in the camp of Naboo Senator. Me and her are very much like there isn't really a top, because everyone in my opinion, everyone's like equal in their abilities. Like anyone can cosplay. It doesn't matter if it's a screen accurate or if it's just something you've put together out of your cupboard. Just in my opinion, anyone can cosplay, and that's that.
I totally, I respect that, and I can understand that whole point. But for me, it's just one of those that it's like, from the people that I've seen, it's like you've really sort of gone into the role of Anakin in like the videos that you do. Like you're serious, but you also have a like, there's almost like a bit of humor in it as well, and I think that's what makes you stand out a little bit more.
Yeah. Thank you. I do have to say, though, when building Anakin, I'm embarrassed to say I had nearly 3,000 images of Anakin Hayden saved to my phone with close-ups of different angles and that, just to get the costume right.
Oh, well, it definitely paid off, because I think your costume is like so accurate. It's very cool.
Thank you so much. I'm now in the process of taking this one to screen accuracy.
Oh.
So when did you decide to do like, so you done like Revenge of the Sith Anakin. When did you decide to sort of jump to Clone Wars Anakin?
So Clone Wars to me has always been the dream cosplay for me. It's the cosplay I've loved. It's the costume I love the look of the most. And I always wanted like an armored cosplay. I thought like that Anakin's the perfect blend of it. And it just happened one day when I was browsing some sites, because like this, by the time I started doing it, this guy, the Revenge of Sith one was about halfway done. Like it was in its second iteration, and I was in the midst of just waiting for some parts to arrive, and I had some spare money, so I was like, I'll build Clone Wars on the side. Let's see how hard that can actually be. And I was lucky enough to find people who sold and made that armor, so I ordered that up. I then found the trousers came from a Primark sale. I just saw the right color in Primark, and I was like, £5, perfect. As for the surecoat and the blue surecoat and the red tunic underthing, the red tunic I actually found in a Middle Eastern wedding shop, and it was more of a plum red, more of a plum. And I was just like, can I buy that for a cosplay? And they were like, a cosplay? And I was like, yeah. Like, you know what, that's a first for us. And they gave me a discount on it as well.
Oh, that's good.
So I then just popped in some like darker maroon dye and just chucked it into the washing machine, while the surecoat came from the pre-made Clone Wars costume that is currently out right now, the one that comes with the plate armor. The part came from that, but I heavily modified it by redoing the lining and getting it taken in a bit, so it's a bit shorter, because the one that gets pre-made, it comes down to like past your knees, and that's not how it goes. It just stops above the knees, so I got it custom sized to that.
I know it's quite a hard question, but do you have a favorite?
I'm going to have to say Revenge of the Sith, because that's the one I actually met Hayden Christensen in.
Oh.
And that, like, both I do have moments with it, because both actually have met Hayden in different ways. So Revenge of the Sith got to meet him for the photo. Clone Wars got to meet him for the next day where he was getting the saber signed. Because I've actually got a massive replica which he actually knew how to dismantle the saber. The minute I said the battery pack, and it was at Birmingham 2021 where he appeared, he took the saber and immediately started knowing where to unscrew it, took the battery compartment out and took it onto the broader side so he could actually sign it properly, and then reassembled it for me.
That's really cool.
That was so cool.
It was, and the moment that just got me afterwards was where he got up and came round, and hello there cosplay, he can testify this. He came in and gave me a big hug.
Oh,
Hayden just gave me a hug, and that was his first con in the UK after a few years. And then he just said, like, quietly to me, like, "You do me such a credit to the character."
Aw.
that's really cool. Like,
Yeah,
I can totally tell. Like, I can agree with you and tell you that he's just such a nice guy. I met him at Celebration. I got a photo with him, and at the time, I got I had a like a Vader top on, and he was just like, "Oh, what's your name?" Shook my hand, and he was like, "I love your T-shirt. It's really cool." And even though it was very brief, it made it very personal for me. And for me, that was like, even though I have so many memories that I'll never forget from Celebration, like that is one that is like sort of one of my standout ones. Because I mean, I met Ewan as well, and he was, just as nice. Even when he said hello there, I was almost like, oh my god,
I heard it for real.
he said it. And D. Bradley Baker as well is just another legend that I absolutely love, and I'd want to meet him again because even though he was late coming to the autograph, like he took his time with everyone. Like I had a Bad Batch T-shirt on, and he was like, "Oh, I love your T-shirt," and then in his Wrecker voice, he was like, "Yeah, Wrecker likes that," and I was just like, "Oh." And then I even got to ask him, like, who's your favorite clone, and he was like, Cody. No, sorry, not Cody, but Crosshair. Crosshair's his favorite because he likes the sort of character depth in it. But yeah, it's just Celebration was such an iconic moment, and I totally understand like what you're saying about meeting Hayden and how special it is.
God, I miss Celebration. I still remember how that con began for me. It happened on the Thursday when like you had the chat. Like I think you had the chance to go pick up tickets and that.
Yeah.
I was there with Naboo Senator and my other friend called SJ the Sith Twi'lek. We were all crashing at a hotel room together, and we went to the XL where the weirdest thing that happened on the way in, there was a Sherlock Holmes person walking around getting pictures of all the Star Wars things. But as we got to the ticket collecting bit, the whole Clone Wars cast just came walking around the corner and waving at us.
Wow.
And then one of my friends down near the taxi rank got a free selfie with them.
Whoa.
That's very cool.
It was quite a moment, right? Getting to see Matt Lanterman in person, and then I got to see him again 2 days later when me and Alpha Glitch Girl got a photo with him.
I mean, I totally understand the whole. So, I wish my sort of journey to Celebration was a little bit more relaxed. So I went down on the Thursday to pick up my tickets. But obviously, I was coming, from like Bristol, so I'd got the coach down. I was a bit tired. I had the stress of Royal Mail had lost my tickets.
Oh God,
So,
no, the tickets with Royal Mail were awful. I'm sorry you had to deal with that.
Honestly, I was like nervous because even though the person that I'd spoke to on the phone was like, "You can pick up your tickets on the Thursday," I was like, are my tickets going to be there? Am I going to have tickets? Have I come all this way for nothing? So then I got to the XL, I picked up my tickets, and then I just sort of got my tickets, went out into the main corridor, looked at them, and I went, yes!
Yeah.
And I was like, finally, I can enjoy Celebration.
I also do feel you on the rough journey. I took the sleeper train down. So I left Wednesday night, got in at about Thursday morning, but oh my God, that sleeper train was rough because it was crowded, and when I finally got to sleep at about midway through, they banged the coaches together, flinging everyone about.
Oh no.
So I was just getting to sleep, and then I got flung face first into the next chair.
Oh no, I think your journey was rougher than mine, mate.
Oh, you just got this. There was just this, as the ticket conductor came through, they just saw me lean down this table, basically like just absolutely done with things.
Yeah.
Celebration's such a journey.
Yes.
Like I just had the Saturday ticket, but I came down on the Friday, and obviously because Celebration was on the Friday, like going down on the trains, and you just gradually, as you get more and more towards the XL, there was just more Star Wars people in cosplay or like had T-shirts on, like Mando or Boba Fett. And it was just like, yeah, you know where they're going.
Yeah, the vibe around the whole center was also amazing. Like, you had all the people wearing their like different garrison jackets, so it was cool to see people from like Japan garrison, Brazil garrison, and then bumping into people from like influencers from other countries. So it was fun to bump into a lot of people I only ever seen online.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny thing as well, I can't remember. I think it must have been the Saturday. We actually bumped into you on the Saturday.
Yeah, I do briefly remember. Like, Celebrations was a blur for me, especially the Saturday. I think, was it the Saturday you said?
Yes, because it was me and you. Was it?
Yes. Because I mean, at the time I didn't know you, so I didn't really speak to you. But I remember you being with Alicia, the Naboo senator.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were very cool.
I actually have a little story about her and us at Celebration, and that was so do you know where the art show was, where all the arts were selling like the exclusive Celebration stuff?
Yes, yeah.
She was there. This was on the Sunday, and there's two stories to it. One is that when she was there, one of the artists said, "Can you take a picture holding one of these pieces of art, please?" And she was like, "Sure." Took the picture, and then the guy went down and just gave us a bunch of free art.
Oh
wow!
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm getting this framed as soon as I can. But the other bit was that, and this is when I was waiting, to get this one. This is just me hyping up my friend Alicia. Is that I was waiting to get this art, and it was the last piece of art in the building, so I was really happy to pick this one up.
Oh wow!
Oh, that is cool.
That was cool.
While I was waiting to get that, and trying to basically block 20 other people behind me, a little kid came up to her and basically was just basically went like, "You're my Padme." He came all the way to Celebration just to find her.
Oh wow!
Oh, yeah. So when I heard that story, I was just like, my heart melted.
There's so many stories and things that just happened at Celebration. Like, for me, something that was so weird, but in like a surreal way. Me and Chloe were just walking sort of down the main concourse, and this guy like in front of me like sort of turned to look around, see what was going on, looked, and then like looked again, and he's like, "You're from the 501st Contract." And I was like, "Well, wait, how do you know me? I'm a nobody. Like, I'm in London, miles away from anywhere, and you know me from this." And I was almost like, it's such a weird feeling, but such a cool feeling.
It is. It took me back to the first MCM after lockdown, because like everyone knew everyone there, so it's like just a massive meet and greet for everyone. And I just love that. Like, it was also like weirdly hearing your usernames get shouted out instead of your regular names.
Yeah.
That's quite cool.
Someone shouts to you, "Simply."
Yeah, people do shout that. People have shouted that across like the MCM green and that. It's quite a moment. Like, there's one at Birmingham where Sith Twilight just saw me, and then just basically as Darth Talon came running up and went to a jump hug onto me as Anakin.
Yeah, I mean, another thing that I love about Celebration, like you said, when you got like your art and all that, and I queued on, was it Monday? No, yeah, it was Monday. I queued and I got my lanyard signed by the artist. I can't remember the name. I think her name was Alex, and she was just signing all these like everyone's sort of lanyards, tickets, for free, And that's also for me quite cool because on my ticket now, it's like to Will, and it's signed by the artist who's designed it. And I absolutely love the little lanyards and the designs on it. Like I was going around looking at everyone being like, who have you got on your lanyard?
Yeah, I was like that as well. I was hunting for like the Vader one everywhere and I couldn't find it.
I found it once. So the person who was sat with D. Bradley Baker, sort of helping him, I think it was like All Access or something.
Okay.
And they had the Vader one, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool."
That is so cool. Actually, our little story from Celebrations, you can actually find it on a news website, and I love it and hate it. And that is, there's a picture of Warwick Davison going by, and then it's just me walking behind with my phone, not realizing who's in front of me. Like just casually strolling by. It's just like, oh my god.
I think, again, Celebration was such a moment for me. This was my first, I know people that I was stood around that had been to like, had been to like one last year, had been to like the one way before. Yeah. And it was just something that I'll never forget. But going on to like MCM, I've never been to an MCM one. I've only been to the sort of like ones at like Olympia. What is the MCM one like?
The MCM ones, so the current way MCM is doing isn't personally my favorite way, but it's still an enjoyable experience. I'd say compared to, I haven't done the Olympia myself, but from what I've seen, MCM has a lot more like vendor stalls. If you want to buy like merch and that, you can sometimes get rare finds, better socializing, like more people go there, so you're more likely to bump into like other influencers or podcasters going about. I think it was actually at one of them, the first one back, me and Hello There Cosplay just ran right into the Star Wars sessions lot and just walking about casually. But I'd say it's a good vibe if you want to kind of encounter friends and just other content creators. Well, from what I've seen of the Olympia, that's where you go to meet like the celebrities and that.
Yeah, definitely that. We did actually meet Sessions at the Olympia one. They were sort of on their lunch, and then it was like I had this Boba Fett t-shirt on that they hadn't seen before, and they were like, "Oh, nice t-shirt." And then we sort of got chatting, and they were like, "Oh, by the way, they were like, oh, do you know we're a Star Wars podcast?" And me and Claire were like, "Yeah, we do. We're one as well. We're the 501st." And they were like, "Oh, we know you guys." And it was like, okay, this is again a bit weird that you guys know us. It's like, yeah. But then definitely I liked Olympia.
Yeah, and we got to meet Tam Morrison.
Yes, got to meet Tam, and he is honestly like all the videos you see of him. He is that guy. Like there was a guy in a Jedi costume who was in the queue for the photo op, like 2 places in front of us, and just as he's gone to like meet Tam's been like, "Always a pleasure to meet a Jedi."
Yeah,
and like you could just see how much this guy was like, this is so cool. So that was cool to see. But
and he sort of like took the time to like shake everyone's hand. He was like, "Thank you for the love," and all this.
Yeah, and it was like, "Thank you for the support."
And all
I
that.
love
It
that
was so good.
And
like there was Boba Fett cosplayers that came like all the way from America, and they're like, "Oh, we've met Daniel Logan, but now we're coming to meet Tam Morrison and stuff. Like, come all this way just for this, like for a 2-second, photo." But yeah, some of them had like gaffy sticks and stuff. So like he would like have that in his hand, and they'd just be like stood next to him, like, "This is Boba." There was like Fennec cosplayers and stuff. He was so cool.
Yeah, he was a very nice guy, and I'm very excited because in November we're going to the winter one at Olympia, and going to meet Ian McDermott.
I really need. Oh my god, Ian's just an absolute amazing guy.
I can't wait. I just want to meet him. I want to say that like I've met Palpatine. Like I want to be like, this is him.
The one that corrupted everything.
But yeah, like that's just me. Like I love it, and I love the whole you know, once I got to my first one, which was last year, like my first Comic-Con, like I was just walking around almost like in awe. Like I'd never experienced anything like this. I was looking at like all the cosplayers and being like, oh my god, oh my god, wow.
Yeah.
And that really was incredible to see it. And you know, like I mentioned, you know, seeing your videos and cosplay, you know, is like it's just so cool and enjoyable content.
Mhm.
Like, but you also do like serious ones as well. Like the other day, I saw you basically recreate the scene with an Ahsoka when you sort of walk towards her, and it's like you lack conviction.
Yeah, that was a Secret Con. That was with Naomi. She's an amazing Ahsoka cosplayer. She's currently she's already sourced the screen accurate shoes and found the fabric to make Ahsoka the White.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, no, that was at Secret Con, and a thing called the Water Pavilion where they would simulate rainfall and mist, and we were just running around in that at risk of getting our costumes wet and paint running, recreating that scene.
That looked like it did. To be honest,
So
it did
cool.
look like a lot of fun to like do.
It really was. My major regret from that event is not filming because like it was Secret Con's all about photography and it's quite fun. But the bit I regret is that because it was set in a giant steel mill and it had very Mustafar looking areas. When I got some pictures, there was this big furnace section where it had fire and sparks shooting, and I'm like, I would have loved to have gotten footage of myself doing a Kenobi while all that went on in the background.
I think I've seen some pictures that the Captain Vader posted from Secret Con. And there was like lots of fire, like sort of effects and stuff. It looked really good.
Actually, oh my little sort of Captain Vader.
Yes, he's quite a good friend of mine.
Yes, he actually sent us a very interesting. Before he knew, obviously, like we said that you were coming on. He sent us a photo from Secret Con.
Yes.
And it's like a photo you took where you're giving
Like
Vader the side eye. You're like,
yeah.
And he said, I
this
didn't
one
realize he took this photo.
Yeah, I love that so much. But during celebrations, and this is a moment I love. So we all know the man is very tall, like he is the perfect Vader height.
6'10" is Vader.
During celebrations, he came out of the crowd, went right up to Alicia, and did a little chin thing as she smiled, looking up. Then turned on his heel to me and went, "Stop hiding," because he tries to talk to me in that, and I'm always heading somewhere else. And I have never had the fear of God put in me before by a Vader. Just the proper point and everything. Vader looming up and I'm like, I'm gonna die.
He proper gets into character with Vader. Like he did the same to me as well. Like kind of.
Yeah.
But like I sort of went over to the 501st section, but he'd been standing up all day and he was sort of going off to kind of, you know, de-troop.
Yeah.
So it was lucky I caught him when I did because I wanted to meet him. And like I sort of like went over there as he was walking away, and he had the Mara Jade, his wife, by him. And then he kind of like turned to me and recognized that it was me, and then was like, "I recognize this one," and then like grabbed me. And then he was just like, "Padme, you should have never listened to Obi-Wan," or something. I can't remember what he said. And then sort of like walked away, and I was just like, he is so tall because I'm only 5 foot. So to me, he was like up here.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's definitely like his voice effects and everything is very cool, Vader, and never breaks character.
He's an absolute amazing man, and I really need to get photos with him as Cap and Bucky eventually.
Oh yeah, that'd be very cool.
Yeah.
He does very cool Captain America.
Yes. He's actually hoping to come on the show in a couple of weeks' time as well. So that would be quite cool to get him.
Oh, I'll definitely be tuning into that one.
So I know it's probably, I don't know how this works, but how do you get about going to Secret Con then? Is it a secret?
So honestly, it's just called Secret Con in name only because they only now just like reveal, they keep the venue secret now till it's a bit later on. But how you get in is you go in as you apply as a photographer or a cosplayer, and you send in a few photos for like approval. If you get approved, there you go, you're in. and that's pretty much it. You still have to buy a ticket once you get approved, but that's all it is, and just a photography con.
I think it's quite cool as well because, like, I mean, it's not just Star Wars because I've seen like a few videos on TikTok and stuff, and there was like people cosplaying Tron and like a bunch of other stuff as well.
Yeah.
So you can almost do like little crossover photos.
Yeah, I was talking to those two who did Tron. I know them from a few cons now, and it's always quite fun. Like, it's also quite fun because everyone meets up at like the nearest Weatherspoons or whatever the nearest bar is or hotel, and just all hang out and have a drink.
Just Anakin and like someone from Lord of the Rings.
Nothing is more funny than seeing like Cal Kestis, Anakin Skywalker, and a Han Solo all doing Gordon Ramsay impressions.
That's good.
Yeah, that's very similar to what I remember from the after party at Celebration. I think I was the Saturday that I went, so I was there, and obviously there was just like so many people in sort of like Star Wars cosplay just dancing to like the Macarena and stuff.
Yeah.
So
God, there was just me and the others, and we were at the Moxie, and it was just always fun getting like drink pished and just messing about.
Oh.
So, do you have any like future cons planned?
Future cons. So for next year, the main hope is the big main hope is to fly out to Canada and do a con of Naboo Senator at Fan Expo. Because she's flown out to see me twice, I need to finally repay the favor. I'm also maybe hoping to do 2 events in Germany next year called Sci-Fi Day.
Wow.
And probably sprinkle in a London con and a MegaCon here and there. So that's the main hope. Next year I'm kind of wanting to focus more on my trooping now that I'm part of the 501st. So I'm wanting to kind of use that to kind of explore the country.
I mean, there's a good way to do it. I mean, obviously, you know, being 501st is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So are you in it as Anakin then?
Yes, I'm in it as Anakin, although on the record I am known as Pre-Armor Vader.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Though now that one's 501st, as I earlier said, I'm taking this one to screen accuracy now, so it can be part of the Rebel Legion. So I've already got the new armor being made up currently.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, this sounds good. I want to see some updates on this. This sounds interesting.
That will come soon. I've also got the new belt coming because I scanned when the preview image of Hayden came out officially. I zoomed in on the belt, saw it's got a slightly different intersection, and then just messaged the guy I know who makes the belts, going like, "Can you make it? Here's the money."
Please.
Yeah. So if I'm lucky, I could be wearing that by OctoberCon end of this month. If not, it'll definitely be seen at like Birmingham. It'll probably make its earliest debut will probably be MCM Birmingham.
Well, you know, maybe we'll hopefully get to see one of these cons in person someday. We'll have to be up with you at a con and see you there in person with your 501st Anakin Clone Wars.
Definitely, it would be great to see you there in person and probably get to hang out.
So in terms of like the Germany Comic Cons, like, is it quite a big deal over there, like cosplaying?
Yes, from what I've seen, the cosplays they are just absolutely insane in terms of their detail. Like I think one garrison has basically an entire, I forget the company's name, but it's Aila Secura, Bly, and like 5 or 6 of their troopers.
Oh, I think it's like the 327th Star Corps or something like that.
Yeah, like they've got like basically an entire lot of that, so they can like do a march.
Wow.
That's
quite cool because if you think about it, it's not one of the nothing against that Star Corps, but it's not exactly like as known as like the 500, the 501st or the 212th, So it's quite an obscure, and for them to have like a whole legion, as you say, is really impressive.
Yeah, like I don't know what other legions have. Like I know here in Scotland we've got 3 501st clones now, and coming on to having a 4th, and then hopefully a Rex. So you've basically got nearly entire 501st up here, literally. But yeah, the only other place I know of maybe a big enough Legion size is maybe one of the. It's definitely some in the American. I know some of the American bases have like an insane amount of like one type of trooper. So yeah.
Very cool.
Well, yeah. Please keep us updated with how you get on with your cons, because we'd love to see how you're getting on, and we definitely would like to hear more about your adventures as Anakin.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do some fresh stuff at cons now. I'm actually in the process. I'll be messaging people now that I've secured my MCM ticket. Like if you saw my MegaCon stuff, like sneaking up to surprise hello there cosplay, I'm going to be doing more of that at cons now, and I'm looking to do a giant game of like Tig or hide and seek at a Comic-Con, where the idea would be like one person is the seeker, and then the other people have to hide, but they can't announce the cosplay they're in on social media, so that way it makes it harder for the seeker to find them, and they have like only one day to find them.
That's quite cool.
So
I mean, if that was something, if you were doing that like celebration, it would take me all day, because I know I went like the whole celebration trip where I only saw our friend Emily, like only saw her once, and that was on the Saturday. We just sort of bumped into her, and then it was like other people that we've had on the show, like Jonah. I only sort of saw him once, So I know how hard it is to go around that place and like not find anyone.
So big.
It's surprisingly complicated, given like the XL is just like a straight line.
Yeah.
There were so many people.
It was. The Saturday was ridiculous.
Like that opening, like the first day that I went in on the Friday, and I got in there quite early in the like queue. I don't think I've ever been in one room, in the same room as so many people as that like opening like queue.
And that queue was absolutely like that opening queue was terrifying. The Saturday queue was even more terrifying because me, Naboo Santa, and the Rebel Legion were doing the opening escort walk-in.
Oh, okay.
So at the front of the queue, you had like some people doing that, and we just had like this bunch of people behind us, and I'm just there keeping an eye on like Naboo Santa, who's in like the big purple dress, making sure no one steps on it, trying to keep pace while also dealing with an ongoing costume malfunction at the time with one of my belt lugs coming loose, with basically the Stampede from Lion King behind you.
I mean, I made the mistake on like the first day. I was on my feet from like, by the time I got on the DLR, which was like probably like 20 to 8 or something, and then it was like I didn't sit down at all. I stayed on my feet. I kept I was at the live stage for a lot of the first day. And I sort of explored the venues, and like I went home that night, and I got back probably at like 7 o'clock to where I was staying. I just like flopped on the sofa. I was like, I cannot move. I am dead. So then every other day, I just like, and as soon as I got in the queue, I sat down.
Yep.
If I was waiting for someone or that, I was like, I'm sitting down. I'm not resting. But then on the last day, because I was going home the same day, I was obviously carrying around with me like my travel bag, my backpack, and that took a toll on me a little bit. That was
that con just destroyed everyone. Like I know people who, including me, cancelled cosplays just because we were that tired. And like I know people who cancelled. Me and a few others all planned to do a Vader on the Sunday, and we all just scrapped it because we were too knackered.
Like when we met up with Emily, and she was in a clone trooper armor, and she took her helmet off, and I was like, "You okay?" And she was like, "Nah." She's like, "I am knackered. I am baking hot." She's like, "I don't know how much longer I can hang around in this outfit all day." Like she's like, "I'm ready to like go home, like now and get out of it."
Oh god, I am still so glad I never did Vader, because I would have probably been one of the more angrier Vaders that Sunday, because it was also like a really hot April that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very warm.
Yeah, which was weird for April. I usually know up here has been quite wet and cold.
I think as well, what I didn't know was every day I was in black, like a black t-shirt, like every day. So it was just like, I was like, it's too warm.
Yep. Very warm.
Going on to like, obviously you got your Anakin cosplays. Do you have any future cosplays?
Yes, I do. So in terms of Star Wars, so outside of the updated Clone Wars Anakin, the next one coming up is hopefully, in terms of Star Wars, Loden Greatstorm from the High Republic.
Okay.
I'm looking to do something a bit different with that. I'm looking to do something just a bit different outside from normal ones. But Attack of the Clones Anakin is probably going to show up as well at some point. I need to do that one. But then outside of that, it's going to be some non-Star Wars cosplays for a change, because I'm looking to do some Call of Duty characters and try and start a Transformers build, because I really want to do a Transformer cosplay.
Okay. That sounds quite fun. I mean, I have seen some of those Transformer cosplays that, you know, turn into like they do a little fold up and they're actually like the car to the robot.
Yeah,
that's really cool. So good luck with that one.
Thank you. I'm probably not going to make it Transformer because I'd probably lose my sanity.
What Transformer are you thinking of doing?
So I'm either thinking of doing I think I've got the figure right here actually. Yes, I do. I'm hoping to do maybe this particular version of Optimus Prime from one of the video games that I loved playing as a kid.
Oh, nice.
So very bulky in that. So almost I'd probably be having to look at like Warhammer cosplayers for inspiration for that. Or or potentially the villain from the newest movie, Scourge. Because I really liked how he was in the movie. And I was like, I kind of want to cosplay that.
That again, I will admit that is quite a cool character, the cosplay. I quite enjoyed him in that film. So
yeah,
definitely an interesting one to do. I think if I was to ever really get into cosplaying, or if I was to do one, I'd quite like to do a Lord Draken from the sort of Power Rangers comic.
Oh my God,
that is almost like an aim for me, but
yeah, Draken.
You would have pulled that one off.
I know I've got people who do Power Rangers cosplays, and I have so much respect for them with like the helmets and the details, and I've seen people who do the Megazords.
that must be a lot of work. I mean,
It's,
I don't, obviously I've never done it properly, you know, and I did a fancy dress party as the Green Ranger.
That's
and
cool.
I was so annoyed with the little cheap helmet that they gave me with the costume that I actually bought the Lightning Collection helmet so I could have it like proper. And walking around in it, I felt so cool. I was like, I'm on top of the world. I'm not this like nerdy kid. I'm just this guy. And yeah, so maybe that's something that I'll get into at some point. But yeah. So on this show, we do a thing called Trooper of the Week. So each week, we find some people that we find on like our social media, on our TikTok, Instagram. Basically, it can be anything Star Wars related content. It could be funny, humorous, moving, stuff like that, and we give them a shout out. So, shall I do my one first? Yeah. Okay. So my Trooper of the Week is a guy called, he goes by the name on TikTok as Broken Blade _workshop.
Okay.
And he seems to do quite a few cosplays here. There's like one of him as like a Rex by the looks of it. Looks very good. But the one that I'm giving him the shout out for is he's done a video where he's done a little mobility test and he's doing a Enoch cosplay. And to be honest, it looks really good. So I'm going to see if you can see that there. Like,
oh my God, that is...
Yeah, see if you can like...
Yeah, I can see. That is so... Oh my God. The Lord works fast. He's working faster.
Yeah.
Like, he is really working hard on that cosplay. And considering, like, we saw him for the first time last week. That looks really good.
Yeah.
He's working very fast here.
I think he's looking to try and be the first Enoch cosplayer.
Yeah.
So shout out to Broken Blade Workshop because I love that cosplay. That is so cool.
So my trooper of the week is someone on TikTok that I discovered earlier today. This came up on my page. It's actually Anakin, but he's doing a battle with an Obi-Wan.
I saw that today.
I just thought his skills with a lightsaber were just amazing. I want to be this good with a lightsaber. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of time, like how much they must have researched, like, and practiced the whole scene of like Mustafar, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I should try and learn that next time when I'm on a troop.
Very cool. But like a lot of the bits in it you can see are like from Mustafar.
Yeah.
That they've gone from the movie. But yeah, I just thought it was very cool.
That is amazing.
I could watch that all day, honestly.
Same.
I want to go to whatever show this is because it's very mesmerizing. But yeah.
What's his name?
His name, sorry. Kyber Fred. Like a kyber crystal, but Fred.
Kyber Fred.
But yeah, I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
I want to saber battle like him.
Simply, have you got anyone that you'd like to just give a shout out to?
Yeah, I am going to give a shout out to my Chapters of Chester, given he recently just finished doing the new Ezra look. The man got it done with under a week, and I'm just that. Like, it's stunning work. Looks 1-to-1, and he also makes the loft cats as well. So I'm just like,
Ooh.
The absolute dedication that man puts into his craft is just like one of. So I just got a little power notification that he just does his craft so well, and I've just got mad respects to the man.
Well, shout out to that guy for his career, and shout out to all our troopers of the week this week to showing off their craft and showing what you can do within creating content. Like we said before, the whole point of the Trooper of the Week when we brought it in was to give people the shout outs and the respect that they might not get. We hope people listen to this podcast or watch it and they go check out these guys, because again, it's stuff that we feel like should be noticed.
Yeah.
And yeah, can't fault anyone who makes any content at all. You guys are amazing. So we have a thing as well that we finish on called Meme of the Week. So I found this one this afternoon, actually. So it's quite late, but it is quite funny. So it's quite relevant as well, I thought, with the latest episode. So I want to know her background, history, homeworld, my hub master, everything.
And then, so it's
Just watch Star Wars. I thought that was great.
Tells the Jedi, Clone Wars, Rebel.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that is 100% meme of the week this week. That is, that is something special. Yeah, just it is what it is, but I just think is just like that's like every fan just saying to like Fraud, just watch Star Wars, and you will learn everything about her.
It's almost like the people that haven't seen the animated shows watching Ahsoka being like, what is going on?
Like, who's that?
Watch it.
Like, I saw a video and it was one of those that I sort of laughed, but almost was like went mad at as well. And it was some guy reacting to Captain Rex Phase 2 in the Ahsoka flashback.
Yeah.
And he was like, who's this? Like, what's the big deal with this guy? And like I was almost like, I was like, how can you not know
Yeah,
who
no,
this
that
character is and the significance of him
yeah.
to the 501st and to like the Star Wars universe? It's just like, oh. But I am looking forward to seeing him back in Bad Batch season 3.
Ooh,
Yeah. Oh god, I forgot season 3's round the corner.
I know. I was very lucky that I got into the panel celebration for the Bad Batch. And then I was like, oh, we're going to get obviously Dee and, I think it was, I think her name's Michelle, the gun who does.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and they came out and I was like, yeah, we're going to obviously talk about it. And then they were like, oh, by the way, do you want to see the season 3 sneak peek? I was like, are you joking? Yeah. Are you absolutely joking? And I can just say, like, I just sat there, watched it. And even though not every scene was like super exciting, I just had chills being like I was hooked. I was like, I can't look away.
Yeah.
And yeah, all I can say is from what I've seen of the little like trailer bit, cannot wait. There is going to be some tears, I reckon. There's going to be crying of like, oh my god,
no more tears. We cried enough over tech.
Oh god, that was a sad one.
That was
brutal. And I remember again when I met Dee, there was someone in a full tech cosplay, and like Dee just sort of looked at him and was like. Like almost like I'm sorry.
I feel like for Dee, he was just like, I'm gonna see a lot of text this weekend.
Yeah, there has been some rumors that there's possible going to be some people being killed off in Ahsoka, and I hope it's not true. I don't want it to be, but it's Dave Filoni and it's Star Wars, so the man is probably going to rip our hearts out.
Yeah, he's got one episode left and he's given us a lot of heartfelt content. I'm getting scared, I'm not gonna lie. Just looking at Sabine and Ahsoka and Ezra like, don't, Dave.
Yeah, it could be one of those where I think it's going to end on some sort of cliffhanger that sort of leads sort of directly into the Dave Filoni film, I reckon.
Yeah.
So, that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's going to be it for today's episode. Simply, we thank you for coming on and joining us. It's been a pleasure.
To come on.
You're more than welcome. We'd love to have you on again at some point. We'd love to, keep in touch with you and all that. But yeah, guys, thanks for listening and watching this one. We will be back probably a different day next week because of personal things going on. But we will keep you updated. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed this episode. So from me, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Simply, do you want to sign us off?
May the force be with you.